Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, General Hospital. At last, General Hospital's Drew and Willow may be coming to an end as she moves into unknown territory. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Michael and Willow may not have been a couple since day one on General Hospital, but they have been a part of each other's lives since practically the first day she showed up in Port Charles. They crossed paths almost right away at grief counseling, becoming fast friends as they bonded over their respective losses for their kids. Little did they know at the time that their lost kids would intersect the way they did, and the big Jonah/Wiley reveal just pulled them closer than ever. Now though, Michael's gone off to receive burn treatment in Germany and Willow's left to raise their kids on her own. Well, with Drew ostensibly by her side, fighting his own family for Willow. As Caitlin McMullen told Soap Opera Digest, Michael's exit leaves a lot of questions for me, like, what would Willow's life look like without Michael in the picture? How will that leave her feeling? What could that lead to? It's certainly unknown territory. The thing is, while Michael was around, Willow just couldn't seem to resist Drew's pull. And part of that may have been the allure of wanting what we can't and shouldn't have. Just like a boiling pot on the stove, trying to keep a lid on desire just forces the pressure to build up inside until it inevitably comes bubbling out. But take that lid off and suddenly everything calms down. Michael's gone. Willow and Drew's secret is out. Now maybe as Willow looks back at all that happened and takes stock of what it means to move on without Michael, she may just decide she really isn't all that into Drew. He was just there as she and Michael avoided their own problems. And now Drew's fight with his own family over her and Michael's kids is just causing more drama than is needed, especially since the Quartermains have more of a problem with Drew than Willow. That's something she is more than aware of, as she just told Chase how upsetting it is that Drew's family is ostracizing him because of all that's happened between them and Michael. Is it really worth it? Is Drew really worth it? In the end, Willow may decide that the answer to both of those questions is no. And life without Michael may just lead to life without Drew. Willow Tate had always been the picture of resilience. From the moment she stepped into Port Charles, she had faced one challenge after another, whether it was escaping the clutches of the Dawn of Day cult, learning the devastating truth about her son, or battling leukemia. Through it all, Michael Corinthos had been her rock. Their love story wasn't a conventional one. It had been built on loss, trust, and ultimately, the bond they shared as parents to Wiley. But now for the first time in years, Michael was gone. Not gone in the permanent sense, but away in Germany, receiving the best burn treatment available. Willow had stood by his side through everything, but now she was alone, left to care for their children while navigating the turbulent waters of grief and change. The absence of Michael left an emptiness that Willow hadn't anticipated. She had convinced herself that she would be okay, that she was strong enough to carry the weight of their family on her own. Yet, as the days passed, she found herself leaning more and more on Drew Kane. It had started innocently enough. Drew had been there, a shoulder to lean on, someone who understood the complexities of being tangled in the Quartermain web. But over time, what had once been a harmless friendship had evolved into something far more complicated. Drew had always been the honorable type, but honor didn't negate emotion. The pull between them had been undeniable, a quiet storm brewing beneath the surface of their interactions. They had both tried to suppress it, to bury it deep under their respective loyalties. Yet when the truth had finally come out, that they had crossed the line, everything had changed. Now the fallout was beginning to settle, and Willow found herself questioning everything. Was what she had with Drew real, or had it simply been an escape? Michael had been her world for so long that she had never considered what life might look like without him. And with him gone, she had been forced into
on the
unknown
back
porch of the
territory.
Quartermain estate. Willow stared out at the vast landscape before her. She had always loved this place, its history, its grandeur. But suddenly, it felt suffocating. She could hear the distant arguments echoing from inside, the sound of Drew clashing with his family over his decision to be with her. The Quartermains had always been a force to be reckoned with, but now they were divided. "You're not thinking of running, are you?" Drew's voice startled her from her thoughts. She turned to find him standing in the doorway, arms crossed, concern evident in his eyes. Willow offered a small, sad smile. "No, just thinking." Drew stepped forward, taking a seat beside her on the porch swing. "About what?" She hesitated before answering. "About us, about everything. This," she gestured between them, "has caused so much tension, so much hurt, and I just don't know if it's worth it." Drew inhaled deeply, running a hand through his hair. "Willow, I care about you. I don't regret what happened between us. But I also don't want to be the reason you lose yourself in all this." She appreciated his honesty, but it didn't make her decision any easier. "Michael and I had problems long before you, and I got close. But I think part of me used what we have as a way to ignore them. And now, with Michael gone, I don't know if what I feel for you is real or just misplaced longing." Drew nodded slowly, understanding in his gaze. "You don't have to have all the answers right now. But if this isn't what you want, if I'm not what you want, I'll step back." Willow's heart ached at the sincerity in his voice. She knew Drew had sacrificed a lot for her, but the truth was, she wasn't sure she could do the same for him. The Quartermains had never truly accepted her, but they tolerated her for Michael's sake. With Michael gone, she had become the focal point of their ire, and Drew, by choosing her, had become collateral damage. He was losing his family, his place in the business, and for what? A relationship that may not even be built on the right foundation. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, "I think I need time, Drew, to figure out who I am outside of Michael, outside of you." He reached for her hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. "Then take all the time you need. Just promise me you won't shut me out completely." She nodded, though deep down she wasn't sure what the future held. All she knew was that, for the first time in a long time, she had to walk this path alone. As Drew stood and walked back inside, Willow remained on the porch, staring out at the horizon. The sun was beginning to set, casting golden hues over the estate. At last she had clarity. This wasn't about choosing between Michael and Drew. It was about choosing herself. And for now, that was enough. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.